Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. There's a song stuck in my head that has nothing to do with what I was just like diddy bopping to, but hola. Man, this here live. I hope it's going to solve a bunch of questions. Hello, everybody. Hi, my name is Ty. I'm a unicorn. I hope it's going to answer a lot of questions because we've been getting tons of emails, tons of text messages, tons of DMs about board certification. And I just also put together a presentation. So after this live, I'm going to record the presentation. I'll upload the presentation to the website. I'll save this live so you all can come back to it. But welcome. Board certification is here. All right. Now, board certification is it's layered and it's tiered. You can get board certified starting June 1st. We will be adding in the incisional board certification, but the only way for you to get board certified through incisional will be by you coming to one of our body altering aesthetics conferences. So that brings up the first thing that I want to draw our attention to. The very first Body Altering Aesthetics Conference is going to be held in Fort Lauderdale, Florida on June 22nd. That is a Saturday at 9 a.m. We're going to have vendors. We're going to have some workshops. We're going to be presenting information. We're going to be going over our different programs with CSL Therapy. CSL Therapy is the regulatory organization for the body altering aesthetics industry. And we have to date 18 different programs. All right. And so the conference is that morning from 9 a.m. until 12:30. Now, after the conference, short little break. You could just like plan to come hang out with us all day if you want to. But short little break. And then there's a VIP lunch panel. We gonna feed you, y'all. I don't know if you all have met our state director for the state of Florida. I'll be in Miami on the 24th. Dang, can you come down a little bit early and come hang out with us? Come to the DMV. I live in the DMV. I am in the DMV right now. Me and my swinging chair. We here in the DMV. I be in these DMV streets, girl. Come say hi to me. I hang out with our DMV folks all the time. You'll be working. Well, who needs a job? Who told you to do that? Being responsible and stuff. But I will have a VIP lunch panel where we're going to give you all food. If our state director for Florida, then you need to come to my stretch class tomorrow. Oh, what time? I need to be stretched out. We'll talk. Let me stay focused. Me and my ADD got enough going on. Don't be distracting me. Recovery, HW. I like it though. I love me a class. I'll figure out what time it is, and if I'm available, boom, I'll be there. 1 p.m. I'll check my schedule right after this, and then we're gonna talk. Okay. Back to focusing again. So our state director for Florida is Natasha. And Natasha, I think she's Cuban and Dominican, or Cuban and Puerto Rican. She loves feeding people. And so whenever we have events, she be like, all right, so what we eating? We're going to feed them with nourishment and education, Natasha. We're not here to feed people food. So Natasha is very happy that during the VIP lunch panel, we have a beauty medical lawyer that's coming. She's on the panel. We have, I think someone from the health department is on the panel. We have someone from ACA certification that's on the panel. And we're going to talk about the direction in building a new medical industry. When's the last time that was done? The massage industry was fortified in 2008. That was the consecration of it, but it's been around for some time. Like massage has been. We are building a brand new medical industry. CSL Therapy is a national regulatory industry, and we're working on being international, having directors in Dubai, in Barbados, the UK, Ethiopia, Nigeria. This is really, 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 really growing. And it's being started from the ground up. Small little humble beginnings in creating the foundations and fundamentals for a new medical industry. So you're going to start seeing me a lot more. You'll start seeing some of the other governing members more. You're going to start seeing state directors more, as well as executive program directors, for them to come on and talk about their programs. But the VIP lunch panel is about how to build a brand new medical industry in today's political climate. We're talking about client advocacy, professional advocacy, the availability of resources. Yep, I was at the first gala. Oh, hi there. Hi again. And then afterwards, that evening, after we done fed y'all, shout outs to Natasha. She makes sure y'all getting some food. We're having our iMedic board certification. Now, in the body altering, I was wondering, because I know y'all real names. I talk to y'all in real life. I don't remember everyone's Instagram names. Hi, Jamina. Jamina is so adorable. She's like this tall in real life. She's so freaking cute. And she always has on heels, though. At least whenever I've seen her. And the body altering aesthetics industry follows a trauma remodeling continuum. So from the onset of trauma, how the body responds, into how it remodels, and then if as you get further away from the onset of the trauma, which typically it's surgery, the client's bodies are going to respond and remodel differently and at a slower pace. Well, then that's when we introduce body contouring. It's controlled low levels of trauma. If there is not trauma, the body is not going to remodel. It's not going to have a permanent response. And so if you're taking classes and there is no trauma being introduced, it's not body contouring. It's a liposage. It's a version of MLD, not body contouring. Save your coin, save your frustration. If you want to get body contouring, take a body contouring class, preferably one that has been accredited by our governing bureau and our accreditation company. But at the end of the conference on June 22nd in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, you can receive 2 certifications. Your iMedic certification is going to come with something that's brand new. It hasn't been released. It was actually created by one of our governing bureau surgeons, Dr. Earl. Dr. Earl's like, I don't want to reappropriate things anymore that we don't need to from other people's industries. What we originally were going to do for professionals, we're not allowed to innervate the skin. Massage therapists can't innervate. Estheticians have to have a heightened medical licensure to be able to innervate. Nurses can innervate, but then they can't do massage. And then phlebotomists can innervate, but they can't do anything else. And to be able to have professionals in the body altering aesthetics industry to be able to drain seromas, we were going to introduce a phlebotomy certification. It's not crazy expensive. Phlebotomy certifications range between I think I've seen them as cheap as $250 up to maybe $1,000. They're about 6 weeks long. But they don't teach you anything you need to know outside of how to puncture a cavity. We're not going into veins. We're not dealing with vessels here. We're working around in the intracellular space. And he's like, I don't want to do that. I was like, what you want to do then, friend? And so Dr. Earl's like, we need to have a seroma drainage certification. I was like, say less. All right, what you want to put in it? And so we worked together and created a course that is surgeon backed. It is board backed. It is certified. It is accredited for professionals that may not have any other existing licensure, but you will come and get this seroma drainage certification and then have the professional and medical backing to be able to deal with. And now you're not drawing blood. We're not putting anything into the body. It is not dealing with drains. We are teaching, training, and certifying professionals on how to aspirate seromas. That's it. So you'll get your iMedic certification of how to work with clients after surgery from day 1 to day 7, as well as your seroma drainage certification. Now, typically when we do iMedic certifications, it's $7.99. But if you get it at one of our conferences, you get it at a discount, it's $5.27. So you save a coin or two. All right. We have some babes coming down from Canada. I need to follow up with you. I didn't forget. My bad. Today's just been a busy day and it was supposed to be my day off. I did go out and get some sun when the sun felt like cooperating because it's a gloomy day out here. I don't know how it is up the rest of the coast, but Maryland, the sun is playing peekaboo. All right. So, June 22nd, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The conference is free. The VIP lunch panel is $60 because Natasha wants to feed you all. And then our iMedic certification along with our seroma drainage certification. Typically it's $7.99. At the conference, it's $5.27. And then we even give you a discount if you want to do the VIP lunch panel and the conference and the certification all together, and you can get all of that the whole day for $5.59. I'm going to multitask, find the link for the June 22nd conference. Space is limited. Is there a link to book the VIP? Yes, that's exactly what I was about to say. I'm gonna go grab this link. You can sign up and if you want to just come for the conference, and if you want to just come for the VIP panel, you'll only pay $60. You can split it up that way too. And then we have some people who are like, I just want to come hang out with y'all, but I got something to do in the afternoon. I'm going to catch y'all at another one of the conferences. This is not going to be the only time we do it. It's just the first. We're going to continue to do this. We're going to continue to expand and host and have these events. But some people are only coming to the conference. The conference itself is free. Conference is in the morning, VIP lunch panel, take a little break, and then we're going to have the iMedic and seroma drainage certification in the afternoon. Now, if you're interested in the seroma drainage certification, it is going to be a hybrid course because there is absolutely no way to teach a quality, comprehensive medical health care class in just one day. But shout outs to technology. A lot of good things came out of COVID. We got really savvy at learning how to disseminate information and come together without having to spend, Gugob's amount of time in person. So if you do sign up for the seroma drainage certification and the iMedic certification, they're combined. Then do nurses have to take it? You don't have to do anything you don't want to. You got to pass go. You got like $200. If you would like to have this certification that's set, because nurses have the ability to drain and aspirate seromas all on their own, but this comes with a marketing component to it where we have a network, and that was the original thing he wanted. Dr. Earl wanted to be able to send his clients to professionals that he knows he can trust, because I love nurses. I helped one of my very good friends, one of my best friends, study for her nurse's license. It stressed me out so bad that I went into goat mode. I'm gonna get me a goat one of these days. I don't know if you new to my platform, but I'm obsessed with goats, and I'm gonna get me a goat. And I keep threatening my husband, and I was like, one of these days you just gonna come home and I'm gonna have a goat with like a dog costume on, and we gonna act like it's normal. And goats, they be fainting. I'm gonna get me a fainting goat. But I go into goat mode when stuff overwhelms and stresses me out. I'm just gonna go take a nap. I will fall asleep anywhere. And so I love nurses. I respect nurses. But there's a level of acumen and awareness that's missing around this niche industry of clients inside of the body altering aesthetics industry that doesn't extend to pre-existing competencies and knowledge skill sets. And so we at the Surgeon Bureau is willing to back professionals that meet their requirements, and they cannot vouch for anybody else's education and skill set except for what has been accredited in this industry. So can nurses aspirate? Absolutely. No problem. All day long. Do y'all need this certification? Nurses can go out and be great without anybody backing them. Nurses helped save the world through the pandemic, but is not going to add them to the seroma certification network without them actually taking the seroma certification class. There's other things that they want to make sure that there's an awareness, complications, contraindications, when to do, when not to do, how to read a client's body. and we can't verify that that has been trained and taught. And not to mention, and I know this ain't you, boo, because you're like super dope, and I think the world of you, and I think you're super crazy smart. But wasn't Florida down there selling nurses license? Okay, that's going to take us into a Diddy conversation that we don't have time for today. But when it comes to certifications, they are only able to back those who have gone through their programs. But can I take just the seroma? No, not yet. They're combined at the moment. Maybe in the future, but it comes together. There's one price, and they're together. They're friends. You'll take the iMedic and the seroma class, and maybe later we'll set it up. Because similar to, like, you have to have some type of experience, we're not having all of these classes all over the place and having people to fly down. Flights are expensive. Fuel is expensive. Driving is expensive. Let's just knock it out all in one time. All right. So that takes care of the iMedic certification. And now this live, we're not going to go into details. There's two types of board certification. There is IP board certification, and then there's SO board certification. SO, my phone died. What did I miss? It's recorded, so you'll be able to come back and check it out, the beginning of it. We was talking about fainting goats and Diddy doing Diddy things, along with nurses buying licenses in Florida a few years ago. Board certification, iMedic, and Seroma Network certification. Okay, you're caught up. The SO stands for Surgeon's Office. This is going to be ideal for professionals that work inside of surgeons' offices, and specifically in high traffic places where, let's say, clients are flying to get their surgery and then they go back home. Miami does not have a high level of post-operative providers because most people come to Miami, they get their surgery, and then it dips at. And they're gone, usually by like day 7 or day 10. Following a client's trauma remodeling continuum, what a client needs from day 1 to day 7, it changes. And what they need from day 8 to week 8, and then it changes into post-op body contouring or non-surgical body contouring. There's 2 different types of body contouring that will be a part of the national exam. And a lot of places just don't have professionals, especially if there's a high traffic of, I know Atlanta got a little bit of everything. They got a little bit of a lot. But areas where they're known, like the DR, they are well versed in the first few days of what to do with the client. That's going to fall into the incisional category. So through the Surgeon's Office Board Certification Program, we only have iMedic certification. iMedic certification is either for therapists, or they have a variation of it. It's called iMed OS. iMed OS is for office staff, the admin staff, coordinators, marketers, anyone that's going to have a touch point with clients. We want to make sure that they have the opportunity to access quality, accurate information to be able to guide a client during their cosmetic self-love journey. All right. Now, when it comes to IP stands for individual provider. If you are thugging it out, hustling in these post-surgical body altering aesthetic streets, it's just you and Jesus on your dolo, making it happen, snatching clients' waist, loving on them, one client at a time, or you have your own practice. If you're not a part of a surgical facility, a private practice, you're not connected and doing work underneath of another surgeon, you're going to look at the IP board certification. The IP board certification includes incisional, but that's going to be done at one of the conferences. It includes post-op endure certification. And then it also includes body contouring certification. All right. There are 2 stages to board certification. Stage 1 starts with just you applying. All right. If you want to get board certified, you got to fill out the application. And we tried to make this as easy and pain-free and affordable as possible. Where else are you getting board certified for $25? let me know. I'm going to go and get me an extra certification that I probably don't need. You need this one. If you working on clients, you need this one. Don't go anywhere. Stay here. But the application is doing incisions legal for PTs who are CLTs. PTs can do any and everything that they want. Now, because we're not a communistic country, at least they're not saying it. They've been acting real communistic over the last few years. But we're still calling ourselves a democracy, and I think it's adorable. Side note, if anybody's on there like conspiracy theory tip and you got some time on your hands, go read Karl Marx's book on communism and then turn around and look at America and call bullshit, just like me. But we're still calling it a democracy. And because of that, states govern themselves. Every single state has a different classification of what their professionals can do inside of a regulated industry. And so PTs are able to do what PTs are able to do based upon what their board in their state says, and if there's a national allowance that they speak to. But states govern themselves. So it depends on the state that you're in of what your PT can and cannot do according to their licensure in that state. And we don't get into the weeds of that. And here's why. CSL therapy was created to bridge the gaps of surgical care to provide clients with better medicine. That whole little spiel, that's our motto. We are seeking to bridge the gaps. And the analogy that I typically use is, you know how Lowe's and Home Depot, they the same, right? And maybe Home Depot lets their employees take a 90-minute lunch, but Lowe's don't. Lowe's tells their employees that they can only take a 60-minute lunch. And that's their rules, right? Or maybe like Home Depot gives their employees a 70%, that's a lot, maybe a 35% discount, but Home Depot or Lowe's only gives their employees like a 15% discount. Well, Home Depot employees can't go to Lowe's and be like, well, my store gives me a 35% or a 30% discount. It doesn't work that way. Baby, then go back to Home Depot. This is Lowe's, right? The same thing needs to apply here in this industry. What someone is able to do because they're a massage therapist is different than what they're going to do. This is an industry. We took the time and spent y'all just hearing about it. We have spent the last 5 years working with Congress to create a whole new industry for us to move in accordance with American healthcare standards to provide clients with the services and the treatments that they need without limitations or the mitigation of allowances from another industry. What massage therapists can do is what a massage therapist can do. Now, massage therapists, we can't innervate the skin. We can't draw blood. We can't poke, pick, prod. We don't do wound care. Now, the moment that a massage therapist goes and gets a phlebotomy license, now they have the availability, the opportunity to do that because they're covered by a different board. Apply that same ideology here in this industry. If you would like to, without repercussion from your already existing licensure, because your existing license is not covering you. If you are a massage therapist, you cannot do this just as a massage therapist. If you're just a nurse, there are gaps inside of every single one of these professional apertures of what you can and cannot do. There's a hole inside of what estheticians can do. There's a hole inside of what cosmetologists can do. There's a hole inside of what phlebotomists, what CNAs, what MAs can do. Well, I don't know. Them too. Nurses cannot massage. The moment that you take your hand and you're no longer doing palliative, localized care in an acute area, and you're going upwards, over, down, and out, that is massage, baby. And massage therapists don't play the massage board that we have affiliations with. If it hasn't happened yet, and we started with the Board of Physicians and we started with the health department, it hasn't trickled down to the jurisprudence and the standards of care and the scopes of practice and identifying what's being done and the allowance limitations on the state level yet, because we're not trying to attack anybody. We don't want to shut people down at all. If anything, we want to open the floodgates and give people an opportunity and a space to come practice safely in the industry that they're already in. We didn't create this industry. We just organized it. The industry was here, but it has to start at the top with education. And we can't pop somebody in the hand and be like, yo, you shouldn't be doing that. Well, can you show me what I should be doing? Where can I go to learn what I should be doing? It starts with the education. So the education is top tier on this phase and the waves that this is rolling out in. But eventually it's going to come a time where if you're a massage therapist and you don't have some outside existing licensure that you can fall back on, then you're going to be out of scope of practice. You're going to get a cease and desist letter from your regulatory board. You're going to get a cease and desist letter from the medical examiner and the health department. And then if you continue to perform services and you do not have a license or a certification allowing you to do so, it's going to get escalated to the local authorities, law enforcement, and DA. But we're just starting out in the beginning, saying hi, introducing, having deeper conversations in all 50 states. It is a lot. So if a massage therapist, you're not falling back on your massage license. They do not cover you. If you were to get a complaint, or maybe you just doing that thing and you get you a hater who caught you on the wrong day. What's this thumbs? Do y'all see the thumbs up bubble? I got a thumbs up bubble. Where'd that come from? ADD. If you get you a hater on the wrong day and they call her like, I'm just calling because like Becky is doing some really fraudulent things over at the spa. And I'm just so concerned for the clients there. And she's operating out of scope of practice. And I'm pretty sure like she's like draining incisions and reopening them. And it's just going to cause another like infection epidemic. The health department is going to come over and be like, hey, Becky with the good hair. Are you a massage therapist? You gonna say yeah. Are you licensed? You gonna say yeah. Are you performing treatments on clients who just had surgery? And you say yeah. And you don't have nothing else? Baby, that practice is gonna get shut down. Or you get fined. There's an investigation. You got to show like different things. And even if you have a MD or a DO in practice, they not there. They not overseeing you. Investigations dig into your practice to see exactly what you're doing. Do you want those headaches? The beauty of board certification is that if that were to ever happen, the governing bureau, our legal representation, our medical lawyers intervene on your behalf. You get a decree of proclamation. You get a board certification. You get a entire governing bureau that'll come in and intervene and be like, oh, wait, pause, hold on. What's the problem here? And they get involved on the investigation for you. If you wind up getting sued, if you wind up getting served, if you get a dispute, they intervene on your behalf. That is the point of certification. So if you're just certified because you took a class and someone checked off on the box and said, okay, you're certified now. Who's certified in what? By who? It doesn't mean anything. Because they have to be able to vouch for you in court. They have to be able to vouch for you towards your health board or the boards of physicians and substantiate that what you learned. They got to stand 10 toes down behind you. They have to be able to show and deliver the requirements that you met to be able to provide these services. If not, baby, you took a piece of paper that's an attendance award. You're not certified. But there are solutions and there's time. Our organization, we just had a beautiful conversation with, I don't know her position. I think she's a commissioner in New York that oversees a bunch of hospitals. And I made sure to tell her, I was like, we don't want to shut people down. That's not the goal. We want to give people an avenue to thrive and a foundation to stand on where they don't have to live in fear or in shadows that their license is going to get taken from them. They're going to get fined. They're going to have to change their practice. We want autonomy to be able to operate without having to answer to other existing boards. We don't want to be regulated by anybody outside of us because they don't know what they're doing. The bill that came out in California about body contouring was presented by professionals, and it just seemed like a really strong money grab that don't have a clear grasp on this industry. We do not want to be governed. We want organization. We want opportunities. We want to grow, and we want to build a strong, supportive community that shares like values to provide clients with better medicine. That's it. If this sounds like something that you want to be a part of, come join us. The board certification is done in 2 stages. Stage 1, if you would like a supportive community, if you would like legal representation, if you would like, when I was I first got started in this industry, I eventually started working with a life coach. And one of the things that we discovered that I was looking for and I was lacking was a form of validation and professional edification. There wasn't anyone to say, oh, you're doing this right, you're doing a good job, because you go talk to surgeons, the surgeons know less about post-operative care than I knew. I've been in this industry for about 18 years now, but when I first started, I'm looking around, I'm like, hey, can somebody come check this out real quick? Did I do that right? Is this good? It's a good look. Our program will either fill in the gaps of what you're missing, or it's going to edify you and be like, I knew I got that right. I knew I was doing the right thing. Doesn't that feel good? Outside of someone teaching you, but someone edifying you and justifying that you've been getting it right all this time, it's a good look. So you'll fill out the application. It's $25. You'll find out if you were accepted into the National Body Altering Aesthetics Competency Program within the hour. You'll log into your back office. You will teeter-totter into the, it'll say, it's quick links, and then it'll say my BAA certification. BAA stands for Body Altering Aesthetics. It's a mouthful, so we start using acronyms. My BAA certification. And there you will find 4 submissions for 4 specimen. Specimen 1 is for the CSL Precis. It's a course that teaches you about the body altering aesthetics industry. You can either get the international version, which is digital, because ain't nobody paying those international charges to get through customs for a book, or you can pay, and I'm gonna give y'all a little secret, just because I like saving people money when I can. If you want to get the international version and you live in the country, no one's gonna know. It'll save you maybe about $5-10. Now there's some people who are like, I'm a touch person. Like I want to flip, I want to feel, I want to highlight, I want to draw. Now, if you get the international version, you can still print it out. But if you're like, I just want that real thing, go ahead, order the actual hardcover book. It comes in 7 to 10 days because we are not Amazon Prime. It's either going to be shipped out from New York or from California to help cut down on some of the shipping costs. But the very first thing you're going to do is get the CSL Precis. It's going to teach you about the body altering aesthetics industry. And then at the end of that book, and at the end of, it's a course, you'll be able to take a very short exam. I want to call it a quiz, but it's not. It's a very, very short exam. The exam is 39 questions. You got to get 36 of them right. And you can take it as many times as you want. But I will give you a heads up. I'm pretty sure the order of the questions change. And I don't necessarily know if it tells you what you got wrong. But I think after some feedback, we asked the IT person to change it. If you're in this industry, it's worth every penny. I've taken the CSL Precis. Yay! Good feedback. We like all feedback. Just be kind, especially if it's not good. But we like all kinds of feedback. So the CSL Precis is going to teach you about this industry. If I were to ask you to tell me about the massage industry, you could. If I were to ask you to tell me about cosmetology, even if you were not a cosmetologist, you could. If I were to ask you to tell me about oncology, you'd use your common sense whittles to you, and you could tell us about the oncology industry. Now, tell me about the body altering aesthetics industry. Now, because I think y'all are like really super smart cookies, like you could work your way around it, but we want you to have a level of comfort as you're moving into this new industry, and we want you to move with us, right? So the CSL Precis teaches you about the BAA. And after you take the exam, it's going to generate a certificate. Boom, that's your specimen 1. All right. Trucking along, specimen 2 is a lymphatic drainage course. You need to have taken a lymphatic drainage course within the last 10 years. This will probably change in the future, but the Governing Bureau wanted to make this as easy a process as possible. So there's not as many limitations on this. It doesn't have to be like originally it had to be Alana certified, and we're like, So it doesn't have to be a Lana certified lymphatic drainage course anymore. Any course in the last 10 years that taught you about the lymphatic system and gave you a certificate, you can use it. If you did not take one and you would like one, CSL Therapy hosts. We don't teach too many classes here. We are a regulatory organization. We regulate. That's it. And if you get mad because we're regulating, I don't know what to tell you, because that's our job. You can't get mad at like McDonald's because they make hamburgers. You don't have to like their hamburgers, but you can't be mad at them. Our job is not to teach. It is to regulate. And the class that's hosted, I think it's either $299 or $399. I don't know where you can get a cheaper lymphatic class than that particular class. If you have any questions, you want to know where to find it, locate it, let us know. We'll send you the link for it. But you'll upload your certificate. That's going to be your specimen 2. Boom. Trucking along. Now, here's where it gets a little sticky. Specimen 3 is for an accredited foundational course. Foundational courses teach you the foundation of your chosen educational track. I just missed something. I want to back up real quick. If you would like to be board certified in more than one thing, you totally can be. You just got to fill out the application more than once. So if you want to be board certified in post-op and body contouring, you'll fill it out twice. CSL Therapy has its own professional titles. So if you are performing treatments on a client from day 1 to day 7, that's called an IMEDIC. If you are working on a client from day 8 to week 8, you are a post-op endure clinician, or for short, POI clinician. Is it POI or POI? POI. But it's a POI clinician. And then if you are doing body contouring, then you are a body contouring therapist. Now, here's a schmexy word. If you wind up getting certified in all 3 things, you are a CSL specialist. Those are the 4 professional titles that we're moving forward with at the moment. Over the years, we're going to introduce our other titles, which include a BAA master to work on advanced populations who had fibroid removal, hysterectomy, mastectomy, bariatric surgery. Those populations benefit from the education and the competencies that we teach, especially when it comes to compression therapy. And then body contouring, the body responds to the stimuli that is elicited upon it. If bariatric clients got body contouring while they were healing after their bariatric or gastric bypass surgery, they would develop substantially less loose skin. So we're going to introduce a program after we finish organizing the stuff that's already here. We're going to introduce a program that will educate and then certify professionals to work on these advanced populations. All right. We have PS wound certification, wound care certification. If you would like to be able to work on clients who have wound and advanced wound complications associated with the BAA, being able to identify if a wound is infected, dehiscence, if the stitches started to reject, if pus is coming out, or is it just discharge, what to do, when to do, how to do, why to do, dressings, bandages, and referring out, knowing when something is totally above your liability pay grade. Then there's a doyen. A doyen is the equivalent of a doctorate in this industry. So if you ascend to becoming a doyen, you know all of the above. Doyens probably will not be introduced for at least another 3 to 5 years. There has to be enough research and classes available for people to step in and start calling themselves a doyen. But that is what we are working up to. All right. So foundational classes, you'll fill out the application in your chosen educational track. You'll fill out and submit the first 2 specimens. Specimen 3 is your foundational course. Courses have to be accredited by the body altering aesthetics industry by CSL Therapy, our accrediting body that we partnered with. They accredit paramedical, anything body. They accredit physical. They accredit plastic surgery courses. Anything dealing with medicine and healthcare is accredited by the company that we partnered with. They are called the American Council of Body Altering Aesthetics. They've been around since, I think, 2017, 2018. So they're a little bit newer too. But the purpose of this is there is legal representation that is being extended to professionals. For the governing bureau and for the American Council to be able to vouch for this acumen and for professionals, they have to know that you know, or that you took courses that teach information and education that can be trusted, that it's going to present the competencies, the skill sets, the fundamentals, and the essentials that professionals need to take care of clients today. That includes limitations, allowances, and awareness. Because again, going back, I don't want to pick on PTs. I love PTs. They're like super smart and stuff, but they don't always have the awareness about the niche needs of the populations inside of this industry. So the classes that people may have taken before now, because again, this industry isn't new. It's just newly organized. If you took a class and it's not already accredited, you got some options here. Let's say you took a class 2-3 years ago that taught you body contouring, or you took a class like 5 years ago that taught you post-op. At the bottom of your back office and your board certification, you can, there's a letter that you can give to that educator and ask them to submit their class for accrediting. It's that easy, that simple. I'm going to actually share the link for board certification. Anybody that's either on this live now or that'll be on the live later, I'll make sure that it's in the caption. I'll make sure that it's in the bio. But the board certification for, I'm gonna make it easier. We're just gonna go to the IP one. You ain't gotta worry about the SO one because you are IP. It's $25. All right, I'm going to share that right here. I wish it would let me pin more than one link. Did they graduate to that level of dopeness yet? Nah. Okay. Well, we moved on from the June 22nd event. If you are interested in board certification, the very first step is to apply. So there's the link for you to apply for your board certification. Your foundational class, if the class that taught you body contouring or the class that taught you post-op is not accredited by the Body Altering Aesthetics Council, if it's not accredited by CSL Therapy, it doesn't matter. I don't care if it was pushed through NCBTMB and the class was, what are the prereqs? There are none. None at all. Because what prereqs matter? You know, if somebody is a PT, what does that mean? What are the prereqs, or do you know the information? No? Yes? That's all we care about. We don't care about who you were before you came into this industry. It doesn't matter. Home Depot ain't got nothing to do with Lowe's. I'm not sure which one better. Whichever one is better, that's us. If a course was accredited by NCBTMB, they don't know this stuff. They don't know this industry. They don't know compression. They don't know nutrition. That's not taught to, so we submit. If you went through TOSI, you can use your TOSI certificate. If you went through THT Contour, then you can use that. If you went through, what's the other chick up in Canada? Bodyful, you can use that. No Brazilian methods Those courses, not one has been submitted for accrediting inside of the body altering aesthetics industry, and we've reached out to most of them and asked. So if you have taken a Brazilian class in any of the competencies that you would like to be board certified in, you can use the letter at the bottom of your board certification, send it to your teacher, and ask them to submit their class for accrediting. But massage therapy doesn't know wound care. Massage therapy doesn't know trauma remodeling. Not on plastic surgery clients that have tumescent. Now, it's one thing to get a hip replacement. There was nothing added into the body. Tumescent fluid is an agent. It's a numbing and immobilizing agent that's used with most surgeries of today. It puts extra weight on someone's lymphatic vessels and the lymphatic valves. There is a certain awareness in working with clients that have this heavier viscosity fluid inside of their system. That is not taught inside of massage. It's not taught in nursing. It's taught in plastic surgery. But then you know what else isn't taught in plastic surgery? Nutrition, the lymphatic system. Our legal team studied all 361 medical residency programs in America, or let me be specific and say surgical residency programs in America. Not one has more than 15 hours of lymphatic training in their entire 7 to 10 year residency. Not one. And then only a handful of them had post-op care, and a lot of it was an aggressive game of follow the leader. So you don't need any do you know the info or not? All right. So the class has to be accredited by the American Council of Body Altering Aesthetics for you to use it for, will there be a directory? Yes. There already is. We waiting on y'all. Classes take 30 to 45 days to submit. The directory is there. The board certification directory is there. The class directory is there. We're waiting on the industry to come and bang with us. We have surgeons who reach out on a daily. It used to be a weekly. It's not. On a daily basis, sending us emails saying, hey, my client is flying home to this state. Who can I send them to? We have a bridge program. I'm going to share the link. I'm not going to pin it, but we have a bridge program of surgeons who believe in better medicine. And they join this bridge program. We have state directors. I think we're up to 38, 39 states now. Midwest has been a little rough. But we have state directors in different states that are actively going out, talking to surgeons and enrolling them into this bridge program. So the bridge program are surgeons who believe clients deserve better medicine. Can we create a course? Yes, absolutely. And you don't, all right, let's share some more links. There is a, who can teach a class. We have a program. We have 18 different programs. I promise you we're going to get through this board certification thing. I'm just so excited to be talking to y'all. And y'all asking really good questions. We have 18 different programs, and one of them is our Advanced Scholastic Trainer Program. And there is a link on this website. Like, you should go get you some. I don't smoke anymore. If you knew me before, I was wake and bake. I gave up weed earlier this year. So, I mean, if you want to go get you a doobie, you totally still can. Or you can get you a glass of wine or some cucumber sassy water with mint, and read the website. It's a lot of words on there, I know. And if you want to upload it to a couple of these little cool apps, then the apps will read the website to you. But there ain't too much stuff that you could want to know, and it's not on the site. So the Advanced Scholastic Trainer Program breaks down who can teach a class. If you have some experience to you, I think I'm available next Friday. I'll come on and do a live about the entire Advanced Scholastic Trainer Program in detail. But if you have some experience to you, if you have always wanted to write a class, have you ever seen those classes that teach you how to write a class? They start at $1,000. Inside of the Advanced Scholastic Trainer Program, we give you that class for free. We want this industry to succeed, and we have included resource after resource for us to be able to grow and elevate each other together. So if a class doesn't exist, if it does exist, and McDonald's is over here, Burger King is over here, they both still thriving, come write your course, babe. And it doesn't have to be a foundational course. Like, maybe you haven't figured it all out yet, but you're really good at cavitation and you want to write a cavitation class. Do it. Maybe you are an esthetician and you know all about the skin and you just want to write a class that teaches other professionals about the skin and, tailor it to the truncus, the skin in the torso, or just write a skin class. Because I promise you, there's a cosmetologist somewhere who didn't get that training. Like their acumen was like hair, or maybe there was someone who just decided to believe in themselves. They took a body contouring class. It didn't include any type of skin anythings, and they need that information. Sign up. The Advanced Scholastic Trainer Program, you get a license. It's good for 2 years. And then, oh man, I hope this thing gonna cut me off. We got 10 minutes left. It used to cut me off. We'll see how this go. If they still hating. If so, I'll hop off and then hop right back on. But the Advanced Scholastic Trainer Program gives you a license to teach. And from there, you can submit however many courses you want to submit. Now, the foundational class. If you took a class and it taught you some things, but it's not accredited, and you want to use that for your specimen 3, then you're going to go to the bottom of your dashboard, your back office dashboard, take that letter and give it to your educator. That's option 1. Option 2, go look on the other side of your dashboard, and right on the left, it'll say, submit your foundational certificate here. Or what if you're self-trained? What if you've you're not new to this, you true to this, you've been working on clients for the last 20 years, busting them down, knocking them out, snatching weights left and right. You know what to do. Come show us. You have a grandfathering option where you can, now the grandfathering option doesn't exist yet for body contouring. It's coming. Give the Board of Examiners, they're still writing that exam. The Board of Examiners should have that out by the latest June 15th, if not sooner. But there's a grandfathering option where you can take a proctored 100 question grandfathering exam. You get up to 2 hours, but it shouldn't take you that long. It might take like an hour. And you'll answer the questions following 10 different competencies. That exam, I think it's $185, but you can only take it once. All right. So this is an option. If you don't have a certificate from an accredited foundational course, you can take the grandfathering exam for post-op or body contouring. It's a grandfathering baseline exam. It will allow you to take the competencies that you've acquired, your skill sets, or if you're just freaking smart and you figured it out and you're like, I don't need one of them classes, not a problem. Take that option. And then what'll happen is after you pass that exam, you need to pass it with an 80% or higher, and it'll generate a certificate and you can use that to submit for your specimen 3. All right. If neither one of those things work out for you, then you will need to then go and take a accredited foundational course, get a certificate, and use that for your specimen 3. Made it through that one. Last specimen. Specimen 4 is a recorded practicum. The recorded practicum is a session. I think it's 75 minutes long, a recorded session. You'll conduct the session. You'll follow the guidelines. The guidelines are inside of the board certification handbook. Let me go find a handbook. It'll answer anything that I have glossed over. It is very detailed in a OCD kind of way that I like. It makes me happy. I like extra details. I'd rather be over-informed instead of under-informed. So you'll go to the guidelines, follow the guidelines, record your session. You're going to save it, upload it to a link, either Dropbox or Google Drive, or if you got some other fancy conforming, I don't know if you would ever want to use Canva, but they let you record stuff. That just seems extra, like an additional step of extra. It's like extra layered and squared at the same time. But you'll take your recorded practicum after you followed the guidelines from this board certification handbook that I just posted right here. I will put all of these links inside of the caption when I upload this live, and you will submit your practicum. All right. You got all 4 specimens put in there. And you've submitted each of them, and you don't have to submit them in order. Let's say you have your lymphatic drainage certificate, but you don't have your foundational, and you go ahead and knock out that CSL Precis order when the book comes, but you got time on your hand and you're going to work. Oh, a question that we get a lot. The client that you use for your recorded practicum does not have to be a surgery client. They're looking to make sure that you are doing techniques and strokes the right way based upon, sorry, my phone trying to commit suicide, your chosen educational track. And for post-op, they will give you, what is it called? A scenario. You'll get a case study. But they don't have to actually be a legit surgery client. All right. So you submit all of your things. They're in there. They'll go under review. Review takes, I think, 7 to 10 days. And then you'll get a letter in the mail. Not like email, an actual letter in the mail saying that you were accepted and approved. You are now interim board certified. You will also get an additional separate package that will have your board certification. It'll have your decree of proclamation. You'll get all of the benefits of board certification, and you have 12 months to prep for your national exam. That is where stage 2 comes in. The national exam is done through Prometrics. Not fancy. We did not reinvent the wheel here. It'll be sent to a testing center near you. You'll be able to get your study materials. Now, the only people who can access these study materials are those who are interim board certified. You'll have flashcards. You don't have to get them. You can go off and be great and ride off into the sunset if you want to. You and your unicorn. But if you want to get them, you totally can. There's flashcards, study guides, practice exams, and workbooks. You'll prep for your national exam, and the national exam, if you don't pass it the first time, this exam, you can take as many times as you need to. You'll sit for your national exam. It's 200 questions long, all multiple choice. You'll have 3 hours. You'll have 3 hours to complete the exam, and once that exam is completed, you'll be a full complete board certified, and it's indefinite. It's a lifelong board certification. This is going to replace, because we've been going back and forth with politicians. I see why don't nothing get done. Y'all spend more time arguing with each other than actually legislating. But now I'll give them credit. They'll do their due diligence and check and see if what's being presented is good for the common good of everybody. That takes time. And until that happens on a state level, what if we live in California? You can live anywhere. California is a part of America. Anywhere in the 50, I was going to say contiguous, the 50 United States of America. We got Puerto Rico. We also have Guam. We also have the American Samoan Islands. And there's one that I'm missing. This includes Alaska. But this gives you a level of protection that you do not currently have. I remember one of our students was like, yo, this local little jurisdiction told me I can't do this. Hey, that's our Alaskan babe. Hey. You would be able to show them your decree of proclamation, be like, actually, here you go. And if they give you any problems, any issues, any concerns, your decree of proclamation will tell them who they can contact. And the governing bureau and the legal representation intervenes on your behalf. All right. That is board certification. Oh, I did it. And I still got 2 minutes left. At least Instagram ain't trying to cut me off yet. Whew. What questions y'all got? And it doesn't have to be just about this. It can be about anything. Specimen 2, you said if we have a lymphatic certificate, we can bypass. Okay, someone asked the question. No, it doesn't. It's not a bypass. You'll use that for your submission. If you have a lymphatic drainage certificate, you'll use that for your specimen 2, and it has to have been taken within the last 10 years. Your certificate has to say lymphatic drainage course. It has to say the date. It has to say who did it. And the accrediting body that this is being submitted to, they do follow up. So please don't go and try to create your own certificates. I know the world gets real interesting in 2024 with all this technology floating around. But you can use any lymphatic drainage class that you've taken in the last 10 years for specimen 2. If we have more questions after this live, what is the best way to contact? That's a really good question. You can send your questions via DM. We have interns. I pop in from time to time. We have interns that oversee this account as well. So you're not always talking to me, or there's, I think, 8 people who have access to this account. I'm one of them. The governing bureau has access, or at least a couple of them who check in. There's 3 interns that have access to this. So you can always send your question via DM. You can send an email to welcome@csltherapy.org. That also goes to the interns, and the interns will send it to wherever it needs to go. Is there a phone? Yeah. And then there's a telephone number that I think is also associated that you can send messages to, text messages, and they'll respond. But board certification, there's going to be a presentation that's going to be uploaded to the website. So if you want to review it, you can. If you want to review this live, you can. If you want to read the handbook is right here. I'll repost it. The handbook will answer most of the questions that you could ever. How long is the handbook? All right, it ain't that long. It's like 20 pages. But it's a very detailed 20 pages. And it got pictures in there too. So it's 21 pages. I scrolled to the bottom. The handbook answers a lot of questions for board certification. In this live, if you're just joining us, we covered board certification for incisional therapies. That's from day 1 to day 7. For post-operative endure therapies from day 8 to week 8. And for body contouring, there's 2 types of body contouring, POBC and NSBC. You need to know both. If your foundational course did not cover that, you'll get it inside of your study guide and your study materials to cover it, because that is not a requirement for the accreditation of body contouring. It will be in the future, but they knew that a lot of educators especially that do body contouring, they're well versed on non-surgical. But all of your post-op clients, they wind up evolving and becoming non-surgical body contouring clients as their body continues to heal and remodels. Well, once the trauma has been introduced and the tissue has been disrupted at that high of a level, the body never returns the same again. This isn't a vase, but let's pretend that it is. Hold on, wait, I ain't talking. All right, so this isn't a vase, but we're going to pretend like it is. And if I were to throw this on the floor and it shatters into all these different pieces, and I'm like, damn, that was ghetto. Let me put that back together. And I glue it back together, it will never be back together the same ever again, the way that it was beforehand. That is the human body after it has gone through a level of heightened trauma. And with that comes fluctuations in edema and swelling. And so even if a client is 2 years post-op, there's times that you should not use cavitation on them. Cookie cutters are best reserved for cookies. And using those rigid timelines on client presentations sets you up for failure and introduces liability and malpractice into your client's treatment journey. It opens you up for lawsuits. Everybody posting their wins, right? Left and right. No one's posting their lawsuits. We see them. There are a lot of people who have gotten sued from burning clients, hurting clients, creating boils, abrasions, breaking and opening stretch marks from doing things that were and it doesn't mean that you were wrong. It just means that there was a lower level of awareness around those type of technologies and devices. And so that is why the additional form of body contouring was introduced through POBC, post-op body contouring. If someone has had some work done, you have to discern the tissue differently. And so that will be a requirement moving forward. But for you to sit for your exam, you still need to know it. And if you weren't taught POBC through your foundational program, you will get it through your study guide and study materials as you are prepping for your national exams. All right, I'm done rapping. I got any more questions in a moment? You know how everything like makes sense in the moment when you're there with the person, and then later you're like, wait, I got all the questions? It'd be like that sometimes. have enjoyed you all, friends. I hope this was informative. Let's come back together and do this again next Friday, and we'll talk about the Advanced Scholastic Trainer Program. Mic drop. Did you say when the national exam opens up? Is it open now, or is there a certain time frame? That is a good question. So the 12 months starts from the availability of the national exams. The Board of Examiners just finished writing the ILEX. They just finished writing the incisional national exam. So no, the national exams, this industry is being created around us, and we didn't want to wait to do something until everything was done. It don't work that way in the real world, no ways. Like, you do it in pieces and stuff. So let's say you finish your board certification, your interim, right, and the national exam for body contouring isn't available yet. You good. You can sit and chill and enjoy the benefits of board certification until it is available. But from the time that it is available, everyone that has interim board certification will have 12 months from that availability date to sit for their national exam. When we onboard new team members, is there a grace period before the foundational courses? What you mean, friend? I don't understand the question. When we onboard new team members, is there a grace period before foundational courses? Like at your spa, if you hire new people, elaborate for a unicorn. I don't know what y'all doing on June 22nd, but y'all should come hang out with us in Fort Lauderdale. Is there any other announcements? Not CSL related that I can think of. Yeah. Board certification is an option. That's up to you. Like, no one has to do any of this. You have no obligation to do any of it. It's not a requirement. It's a privilege. It's an opportunity. And if you hire someone new, if you want them to be board certified, then you have them go through the same process. But that's not to say, like, if we're not focusing on attacking providers, we're not attacking at all. But the interaction between the health department and providers, unless you are doing something completely out of pocket, that's not going to come for a little bit. And, but even without this, if the health department were to come in there tomorrow for your new staff, it would have the exact same effect as if they were going to come later. If you are operating in this industry, it should be a desire and a goal to ascend to the highest level of excellence that exists. This didn't exist before, but it does now. And so if you hire someone new, you should set that timeline of how long you'll have them be at your practice before you make those requirements of them getting board certified, or at least just taking a foundationally accredited program and course. And if you want that to be a requirement right away, cool. When I had my practice, I have worked on over 33,000 clients in the last 18 or so years, or before I retired. When are we having a DMV happy hour? So all of our state directors have to plan one event a year, and the one that she planned for Maryland isn't until November, but we can totally have a get together and a happy hour before then. Come join the Discord group. Let me share this before I dip set. We have a CSL Therapy Discord group. We have our own little special community of sparkles and sunshine and people grinding and figuring out and sharing resources and upcoming events and classes. If you are inside of this group, you could share your class that you have going on tomorrow. I like a lot of F words. I don't know if y'all noticed. I've been working on my potty mouth, so I ain't been cussing as much. But this one is free because I like that word too. So you can join this Discord group. If you are watching this replay and the links aren't there, go on csltherapy.org. Underneath of the first tab, Discover, you'll see an expansion tab that says Join the Community, and it's the very first link. Oh, that's the other thing that I wanted to share. We have a podcast that we do on Clubhouse every quarter, and it was on hiatus. Our clubhouses are starting back up next Thursday, May 23rd. It's early in the morning, but get you some coffee and a cup of Jesus and come hang out with us for a little bit. All of the previous talks that we've had about the BAA, they're recorded. They're in there. We have a Facebook group. And then as far as when you want to set up a DMV get together, I'm here for it. I always love me some wine and a good time and great company and talking about some of my favorite stuff. Being a nerd, I'll sit back and research articles and journals for fun. What am I doing? June is a good time if you want to do it before the event in Florida, or if you want to do it after. I try to avoid holidays, so after July 4th, we can look into setting one up. So either middle of June or middle of July for our DMV get together happy hour. But that group is a resource for you to find your people, your tribe, people who share really good core values. That's not cliquish. It's not ghetto. It's not mean girl. It's not sedity. It's real people doing real things in real time, trying to help each other out. All right, I'm going to cap it there. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll be back next Friday evening, same time, same place, and we'll go over the educational program. Don't be good today when you were meant to be great. I'll check y'all later.